The Silent Arrival. In a small town named Greenvale, life was peaceful. The town sat surrounded by thick forests, with only one road leading in and out. People in Greenvale knew each other, and strangers were rare. One chilly evening, the sky turned a strange shade of orange. It wasn't the usual sunset. Instead, the air felt heavy and an eerie silence spread across the town. Birds stopped chirping, dogs refused to bark, and even the wind seemed to hold its breath. Emma, a young woman living on the edge of town, was the first to notice something unusual. While sipping her tea, she saw faint lights moving in the sky. They weren't stars or planes, but something else entirely. She grabbed her camera and stepped outside. "What is that?" Emma whispered to herself. The lights hovered over the forest for a moment and then disappeared. The silence grew deeper. Emma's neighbor, Mr. Carter, came out onto his porch. "Did you see that, Emma?" he asked nervously. Emma nodded. "I don't know what it was, but it didn't look normal." That night, many people in Greenvale couldn't sleep. Some heard faint hums in the distance, while others claimed to see shadows moving outside their windows. But when morning came, everything seemed normal. Or so they thought. The mystery unfolds. The next day, strange things began happening. The town's electricity flickered on and off. Phones stopped working. The air felt colder even though it was supposed to be spring. People whispered about the lights in the sky, but no one had answers. Emma decided to investigate. She packed a flashlight, a notebook, and some food, and headed into the forest where the lights had disappeared. As she walked deeper into the woods, the trees grew darker, and the silence returned. It was so quiet that she could hear her own heartbeat. Suddenly, Emma stumbled upon a clearing. In the middle of it was something she had never seen before, a tall metallic structure. It was smooth, with no doors or windows, and it hummed softly. The air around it seemed to shimmer. Emma approached carefully, her heart pounding. She reached out to touch the structure, but before her hand could make contact, a voice echoed in her mind. "Do not be afraid," it said. Emma froze. The voice wasn't coming from outside, it was inside her head. Who are you?" she asked aloud. "We are travelers," the voice replied. "We mean no harm. We came to observe, but your world is fragile. The silent visitors." Emma stepped back, her mind racing. "Why are you here? What do you want?" The voice was calm. "We seek knowledge. Your world is filled with beauty, but also destruction. We have seen this before. We are here to learn and to warn." Emma didn't understand. "Warn us? About what?" "About yourselves," the voice said. "Your choices, your wars, your neglect of your home. If you do not change, your world will face great danger." Before Emma could ask more questions, the structure began to glow. It rose slowly into the air, higher and higher, until it vanished. When Emma returned to the town, no one believed her story. The metallic structure was gone, and the forest looked untouched. But Emma knew what she had seen and heard, the warning. Over the next few weeks, the town slowly returned to normal. The birds sang again, and the wind whispered through the trees. But Emma couldn't forget the voice or its warning. She began speaking to others in the town about taking care of their environment, about being kinder to each other, and about preparing for an uncertain future. Some listened while others laughed. Years later, Emma's story became a legend in Greenvale. Some called it the Silent Arrival, a tale of mysterious visitors who came and left without a trace. But Emma never stopped believing. She knew they had been real. And she knew their warning wasn't just for Greenvale, it was for the entire world.